The helicopter camera flies high over the Eiffel Mountains in Belgium as we welcome you to the season finale for the International Sim Drivers Association Spring GT3 World Tour, for 2021 at least. Good evening everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ike Sky and I will be taking you on for the last time in this series. Every turn of every lap of the final 2 hours of this championship. It has been a roller coaster of a ride with exceptional driving skills shown up and down the field. Some brilliant conditions and tracks that we have visited, but I can think of no better place to visit than the iconic Spa-Francorchamps. We are bereft of our championship leader tonight for reasons of real life things come first, as is entirely appropriate. But that just means there's more points up for grabs through the rest of the field. The fight for second place is still hot as anything, and down the rest of the field, every position can make a difference in this championship. 2 hours is a long time to have to survive the undulations of this mountainous circuit. I have chat open as always, so I only have one set of eyes. If there's something that I'm missing, if you have any points arising, if you want me to be looking at any particular fights, or if you just want to show your support for a particular driver, feel free to put that all in chat. It's been awesome having you guys around throughout this season, and long may it continue. Just starting the qualifying session now, and as per usual, warm-up laps will take a while to complete before we get any kind of meaningful lap time, so don't worry at all, you aren't missing a thing, just drivers getting their warm-up laps out of the way. The helicopter camera is up and running. We ride with, there we go, the 65 of Alex Moore, a newcomer to the championship, and I will do my best not to focus on him, but he is one of my personal teammates. Recently started driving in Assetto Corsa, so don't expect anything too much from him, but he's a quick learner. How are the rest of the drivers on the field? I'm going to need to get the track map up, unfortunately. I think the 12 car was probably one of the first out onto the field. Maya is on his out lap as well. There is one driver in the pit. We've got... Ah, interesting. I'm getting notified all over the place. Maya is beginning his first fast lap, as who is going to be first across the line? We have to wonder. We just get off of the track map again. There we go. Up to the top of the timesheets. No one's set a time yet. I'm surprised. I do wish I had a track map to use, though. That would be awesome. Maya too is running a black livery, which is frustrating but not surprising. Miksig in the Breaking Bad Porsche is still on his out lap as well. Tadek is coming around to finish off a lap. Kuchar in the 78 Lexus is coming up the hill now. This is going to be a slow one by the looks of it. There appears to be some posts going on in the crew channels. 2 minutes 20 for Otto Winkler, and a big old slide. The track is apparently fast, but that line does not look very rubbered in. The Pirate Racing 24 car go across the inside. This could be 2 abandoned laps for Kuchar if the timing screen is where I think it is. Yep, Borovec comes across the line here. and sets a 2:19. That's getting up towards pace, but it's still not ideal for the possible pace, shall we say, of these GT3 cars. Up through a Rouge and Radion. Voodoo's going reasonably quick. Moore is going half a second faster. That's not enough to bring him into contention just yet. Borovac is going faster too. It's going to be very difficult. There's been a lot of interesting problems in this that I assume people are just struggling to get the tyres up to temperature in these cold conditions. 16 degrees is the air temperature, 21 is the track temperature, so a lot colder than a lot of these drivers will have been used to, having just been to the Postie, by comparison, Kailani circuit in South Africa. Langendijk in the 66 car. A superb lap to get us down to a 2:18.9 first into the 2:18s by the looks of it. Drivers still trying to find their place on the field, I would suggest. And as always, those drivers watching, if you want to come and let me know how your race is going or is not going, however the case may be, just join the Ready for Interview room and I will drag you straight up. Oh, a Lamborghini. That's a rare one. In ACC. Who is that is running? Who's that that's running a Lambo? Ah, Art Harbach. In the 331 car. Running a Lambo. I'm sure he wasn't running a Lambo. No, he was running a Lambo last time. Unfortunately, he just didn't feature all that much in the course of the race, which is unfortunate for him. But ACC is a difficult beast to master at the best of times. We don't hold that against him at all. So what's going on further down here? Neither Zach has done 2 laps. His last lap was a 3:19, which means he's completed the lap but has had problems. That pure gold McLaren running wide. I wonder if that's where they're getting times disallowed. A couple more times are coming in now. We'll have a look at the top. Langendijk is still top of the tables. Dan Minton has put in a 2:19.2, so he is on pace with Borovac here. Excellent to see. That's... where else have we got going on? I'm sure Zach has got the speed in him. He's still showing up as slower for me. Claudio Voodoo is going half a second faster in that 720S for RaceSimTools.com. Coming down, down through Lafagna. Come on, I can do the words one more time. Campus, then up through Paul Fryer. As flat as you dare through Blanchimont, as I am handed a snack. Thank you very much. Double thank you very much. Awesome. Haha. A 2-hour race. We're all going to need fuel at some point in the race. Voodoo is a second faster at the moment. He's 1.3 off the pace apparently, but if he can get a decent drive off, there is a lot of power in that 720S. He comes across the line and goes as far as... Oh, did he lose all of that? Was that... Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate. So his time was disallowed. He was a long way up on his previous times. Ollie Charles as well. A relatively new name in the series, but performing very well tonight, just behind Zamora, who won the last race out in Kalami. Borovac goes to the top. with a 2:18.405. Just because the championship leader isn't here doesn't mean that Philippe is going to take it lying down. Perhaps the exact opposite of what Valtteri Bottas would do, given the situation. What else is going on? Eugene's in the pits. Meyer is going slightly faster. Voodoo is going slightly faster again. Perhaps that second was through a corner cut through Radion. Doesn't quite get the traction. Meanwhile, behind, Voodoo is a little bit faster, but nothing to write home about. Neither Zach, having not set a time yet. Half a second up on his previous. I wonder if he's just not able to keep it within the white lines. Through Blanchimont, which is as near as, damn it, flat. And into the bus stop chicane, this newly designed. It's not even newly designed anymore, they redesigned it in the early 2000s. I still prefer the old one. Neither Zach to third, finally getting a clean lap in. Ollie Charles has taken the 5 car to the top of the timesheets, pipping at the moment the 24 Porsche. Neither Zach has made it 4 cars in the top 4, with the first repetition being the 75 Aston Martin of Dan Minton, who I believe, yes, is the teammate to Ollie Charles, it seems. Meyer is on an outlap. He's still, yeah, he's just come out of the pits, cool. Hemming in the 25 Lexus is going 1.5 seconds faster. I wonder if this is a legitimate lap. It's difficult to tell. We have 7 minutes left, so enough time for the drivers to get back into the pits, get on a fresh set of rubber, and get back out onto the track, with it being rubbered in better than it was before. And Hemming needs to be pushing himself further up the grid now as well, as he's pushed down to 20th. The 130 Porsche gets out the way. The 515 is littering all over the bus stop. Porsche on the outside will give best, and 10th goes the 25 Lexus. Great showing from Hemming there. Also Winkler, meanwhile, in my favourite car on the grid, other than the Jaguar of D'Couza. I have to support the Jaguar first, but, you know, nothing wrong with a little Godzilla. Actually, where is that? Where is that Jaguar on track? Going down the hill. Glinting in the sunlight. How long will this last, though, with the way that Spa is situated? Anything can happen with the weather here. Kujawa in the 17 car is going 1.1 seconds, comes up to the bus stop. This could be a push for the higher end of the top 10, assuming that that wasn't some track limits cut for him. 4th position goes Kujawa, pushes the championship contender a position down. So the track now starting to come to life. Langdijk's going half a second faster, will push himself to 3rd again. Aston Martins take up the right hand side of the grid for the first 3-4 rows at the moment. That's going to be a really weird grid if it stays like that. No doubt with 5 minutes left to go, though, there's not a chance that that's going to happen. Andre Kuchar in the 78 Lexus is running a little faster to get to improve on that 12th position. At his current pace, he could get into the high top 10s, and he'll definitely be beating the 25 car at the moment. A nice tow from the Porsche coming up the hill towards the pit complex and the bus stop chicane. That won't be doing him any favours, but he's lost time. He must have Yeah, he must have not quite got the drive that he wanted. Meanwhile, Matej Miksik, again, coming off of Stavilo corner. Now up the hill, has got a great drive. Can he hold it together through Blanchimont? That's the question here. Pace is still there. I'm pretty sure in the Porsches it's flat out. Out of the bus stop, and a little bit slower exit, but enough to push the 96 car to 16th. I'm keeping my eye on more for a reason, don't you worry. Kawai Kawasaki in the 806 Porsche also running a lot quicker as well. Enough to push him up to almost the top 10 at the moment. Can he nail the braking zone as the bus stop here? He does get it stopped. Beautiful, neat and tidy for that Porsche, as they always are. The engine over the back really does help the stability across the stripe, and he pushes himself to 14th position. Teo Smolik is apparently half a second up already, just through turn 1. Let's hope that he can keep it all together. Where is that Aston Martin? There we go. So this is Moore's outlap. The reason why I'm going to keep an eye on it is because I'm going to do a very, very quick turn by turn of Spa. None of you probably need this, but honestly, I just really enjoy it, so you're going to have to live with it. And as most of the drivers on the field, Minton is going 0.4 of a second faster at the moment. Where is he on the track? And there could be a push for the lead at the moment. Let's keep an eye on Alex meanwhile. Making a little bit of space for himself. We'll go to the dash cam. And now be prepared for a turn by turn of Spa-Francorchamps across the start-finish line for the F1 grid, braking as late as you dare into La Source. There are so many lines through this hairpin that it doesn't matter whether you go tight, whether you go wide, you always end up coming out at the same speed, coming down the hill and towards the roller coaster that is Eau Rouge, this little kink on to the left here, and then Radion, this right-left chicane up here. Alex keeps it all under control, beautifully stable, and then up the Kemmel straight. This straight is uphill, so every mile per hour that you lose coming off of Radion, you will lose even more coming up this hill. Levels out as we come up to Lacombe. The right-left here, keeping it stable, nice and neat and tidy. Middle of the road for more there through Malmedy. Keeping it stable and tidy. He's 0.2 of a second up at the moment. Brake where the curbs come for Bruxelles. And a tight line for the Aston Martin. Tyres obviously up to temperature and working properly for more there. And then Speaker's Corner. No Name Corner. And now down towards Pouan. Is Pouan. Yeah. Double left-hander, tricky down 2 or 3 gears depending on the car, and then again another down 2 or 3 gears. Just as you got it stabilised from that double left-hander, you have the right-left of Lafagna. Run as wide as you dare. The AstroTurf is fair game on the outside. It won't bite you unless it's in the rain and you're in an Audi. Into Campus now. Run as far wide as you can to widen the corner here at Stavilo. Use as much of the track as you dare. Alex has taken the curb really early there, then draw it back to get the shortest line up the hill through Paul Freire, and then is it flat? No, a slight lift for the Aston Martin through Blanchimont, and then brake as late as you dare. Again, keep it nice and neat and tidy. Let the revs fall right the way off into first gear for the bus stop chicane right at the end of the lap. Get on the throttle as early as you can. It's a good one for Moore. He's going to push himself all the way up to 11th. And that is a quick lap of Spa Francorchamps. Thank you very much, Mr. Moore, for lending us your dash cam for that time. Qualifying is over, so it was a good time for Moore to be setting that time. What else do we have up and down the field? Hemming is going a little faster. Tadic is in the pits, has abandoned the lap. Jokic is going 1.2 seconds faster, apparently. I wonder if that is by cutting the exit of Radion or not. He's still continuing the lap, so he must feel confident that he's got the lap together at least. Holds it all together through Stavolo. Now up the hill, the Mercedes should be relatively strong here. This is a good time for Jokic, and what is that? Why has he abandoned that? That's a shame. Number 1 car coming through Stavolo again. These low cameras are absolutely awful for documenting anything at all. Up the hill through Paul Frere. This is fast for Carey. Flat for the Porsche again. I feel as though those apex speeds must be insane. On the brakes into the bus stop. Get used to that racing line. You've got to take that second apex as late as you dare to try and straighten the car to get on the throttle. He pushes himself to 15th, the number 1 car, working really well in these conditions. Now it's going to be a pain, isn't it? As you can see in the top right hand corner of your screens, 2 hours the race here. We have 4 minutes to run. Carey was very, very happy with that time, I would suggest. I am going to have a brief moment before this all eventually goes insane. And I suggest you all do too. Take a very, very deep breath. I'm just going to wait for that drive icon to illuminate so that I can get away from this awful screen that you guys really shouldn't be seeing. I'm very sorry. I keep on forgetting the order of things in ACC. Nonetheless, Dan Minton has, with the absence of the Pirate Racing Porsche number 8, has usurped Borovec and demoted him all the way to 3rd with the 66 car alongside him. 3 minutes. As I say, have a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be the last breath that you're going to be able to take for the next 2 hours. Yeah, we aren't going to get this. So I tell you what I'll do instead is we will have a look down the grid order in this form instead. So the 75 of Dan Minton will lead the pack away. A bit of a new experience for Minton tonight, and I've not seen any of his family in chat either, which is different. So maybe the absence of his fans in chat is giving him a little bit less pressure. Alongside him, the Aston Martin 66 of Langetijk has pulled a brilliant second sector to be able to pull alongside. Interestingly, Minton didn't set any fastest sectors. He was just consistent all the way across the board. Borovec for the Pirate Racing team will start third. Ollie Charles in the number 5 car will start fourth. Fifth will be Concoli, the leader of the AM cars in that Mercedes AMG number 51. Nida Zach will start 6th. A good qualifying position for Zach, given some of his woes throughout the season. Kujawa will start the 17 Aston Martin, featuring Harley in the early stages of the qualifying session, but slipping down in the later stages. Zamora in the 77 too, featuring quite heavily, but then the pace of the track improving beyond what the Audi can handle. Oli Kuchar in the 78 Lexus, performing very well to get that into the top 10 amongst stiff competition. The 728 of Claudio Voodoo too has done very well to get into the top 10. Alex Moore in the 65 car will start 11th and 2nd in the AM class. George Hemming will start the 25 car, the Lexus RCF GT3 in 12th. Otto Winkler will start the 35 Nissan GTR in 13th. 14th will be Ricardo Meyer in the 12. Stephen Carey will be... Hello there, Jankers. 96 along with 12. Something very interesting starting to happen with deliveries. Gotcha. Give me a second, 23 seconds. Right, okay, let me get through all of this. Ricardo Meyer in 14th. 15th will be Stephen Carey. Krishnik in 16th. 17th will be Kawasaki. 18th will be Rekosnik. Dan Smith, I think, in 19th. 20th will be Eugene Miksik in 21st. 22nd will be Dakuza. 23rd will be Tadek Babik in 24th. 25th will be Lord Nem. Smolik in 26th. 27th will be Danster. Beswick will start 28th. 29th will be Brooker. Jokic in 30th. Kirkner in 31st. Havak in 32nd. And Maru will take that 404 car to from the back of the grid. Let's just go with our leader. That's an interesting viewpoint. Nope, I'm not even going to try that. So Eau Rouge and Radion will be our first corners for tonight, and I have a sneaking suspicion that is going to be even more terrifying than the possibility of having to deal with La Source for the first time. Miksik in the 96 has got the Breaking Bad livery. And the 12 of Ricardo Meyer I have was a black car, unfortunately, Jankies. Langadykes followers are jumping in chat now with that sky liveried Aston Martin. I take it that's supposed to be mimicking Williams in some way, shape or form. You'll have to... This is 24-hour start line, I think. I'm pretty sure. I've fallen foul of this before. I think La Source is a much less scary start line than Eau Rouge, but what do I know? I am a lowly sim racing pleb who currently sits second in the second round of the ISDA World Rally Championship. Yeah, the second round. We're going to wait for all of the other results to come in, and there is going to be plenty of space between, but you know, take the wins while you can. This helicam is so terrible. Yeah, it's Eau Rouge starting line, yeah. Evening, Steve. Good to see you in chat as well. Yeah, it's an Eau Rouge starting line, so it's going to be a terrifying prospect for all of the drivers here. Let me see if I can do this gracefully. Here we go. Unfortunately, having only myself to do all of the camera work and everything like that, it becomes very difficult at times to get the footage of everything that you might possibly want. Fortunately, there isn't a place on Spa that I wouldn't want to be looking at. As the drivers come up for their warm-up lap through here. And someone had to break the immersion and start driving through each other. As usual, the second half of the grid gets very confused. I don't know. Minton's a very difficult case here. He's holding the starting grid very slow, which is great to see. I love it. I do love a slow grid. We get a bit further. There we go. Hopefully that will give us the angle that we want. I don't actually think it will. There we go. Hopefully that 24 Porsche doesn't get swallowed by the much more powerful and better accelerating cars around. You never know. Oh, 75 car went again. It's a good job there's no damage, because that's going to cause issues further back. We wait for the segment at the top of the screen to go green, and at which point we will say we are go for 2 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, the finale to this championship, and already we're going too wide through Radion Le Rouge. That is a terrible idea. There is an Aston spearing off to the side, but as usual, the ISDA drivers are impeccable in their conduct through turn 1. At the top of the timesheets, Langendijk is going for the lead against Minton on the outside of Lecombe. Minton has to cut across the inside, but Langendijk will run wide, so all's fair in love and racing. On the brakes for Bruxelles for the first time of asking, and once again I really wish that I had a track map to use, because this is just awful. And I've closed YouTube chat. Great. There we go. Through P1 for the first time now. The Porsche going very wide, perhaps not running too well in traffic. That Porsche, I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been tuned for that. Lower half of the top 10, although these guys are all connected by a very, very short piece of bungee cord at the moment. Kushar is perhaps putting a little pressure on the 728 of Voodoo. Hoodoo? You do. Do who? The Voodoo. And Ollie Charles has got a tiny gap behind him. Neither Zach. This looks like a potential into the braking zone. I'm shocked there aren't more Bentleys in this field. The 5 car now on the back of Borovec 2, so Borovec could well find himself being a bit of a Porsche stopper in a bottle. I don't know if they do any branded bottle stoppers, but sorry Ivan, English please, just for my sake. I don't think Roberto can... Where's Roberto? So, line astern, they come across the line for the first time in 2 of this 2 hours, straight up to a 2-minute 52 lap, and that was with some acceleration time in. So, a very, very fast pace about to be set through here. up to the head of the field. The 66 car gets on the brakes but has to run wide through Lecombe to make the pass. I don't know. That's absolutely fine. Thank you, Ivan. If it was me, I would suggest that should be a position handed back for the 66 car. My authority being none. But they change for the lead at the moment. Rooting for Langendijk. He's the main guy. I'm sure win for Langendijk would be a popular win, for sure. But if he's going to win, he's got to do it cleanly. What else is going on up and down the field? Side by side, Audi R8 versus the number 3 of Krishnik. So Rekosnik and Krishnik together on the track. And again, it's a car being a bit of a bottle stopper to the rest of the field. And that number 2 Audi in this early stage of the race, remember, it's not Martin Brundle. Much better than Martin Brundle. Thank you very much. I know more than Martin Brundle as well. Which is rather impressive, bearing in mind I'm like half his age. Here's the 515 of Eugene that goes defensive into the bus stop. The 2 car of Rekosnik was looking very, very confident there on the brakes. Perhaps up into the source. Meanwhile, behind, the Jaguar was not able to get off the corner and gets swamped by the ensuing crowd of cars. Goes defensive. Oh, big old punt on the backside for the 96 car. That is not good from Kawasaki, but I dare say... Oh, you don't... Oh, okay. I'm not a fan of Martin Brundle. I feel like his commentary doesn't really add that much to the racing. Mind you, I don't feel... yeah. What else do we have going on? Jaguar's got the pace on the number 1 Porsche, so having lost a place out of the bus stop chicane, and behind they go 2 by 2 into Lecombe. Porsche, McLaren all being shoved into the chicane, and behind it there, even then, there is even more, and are coming together for... Andy Brooker is for sure there. Is he rolling? He is rolling. He's got the engine going. Let's go to the very first replay of the night for when the hard drive loads. Thank you, ACC. So, what was it that caused the issue for Brooker here? We'll go to the nice high camera up in front. There was a bit of contact. Oh, it was the Aston that got spun. The 130 checked up, and the Aston behind, which I think was Kirkner. Kirkner, I would suggest, yes, in this 777, was not ready to push the brakes again. We go back to live screens, and that's a really unfortunate event for those drivers further down the field. Up at the head of the field, it is all going crazy. The absence of the championship leader seems to have thrown the entire pack into disarray. Down into La Source, the 89 has gone defensive. The 77 is going to have a better exit. Is this a position gain for Zamora? It looks like it is. Coming down the hill towards La Rouge. He'll keep the place, but not for long. There isn't a passing place there. Zach. And now he's absconded himself slightly. Oh, good. ACC has crashed. Let me be right back. And we are approaching back. It's a little bit more difficult to... apparently it's a little bit more difficult to capture when you relaunch. What's going on here? Come on.
Incident between cars 806 and 96 under investigation.
And that will have been the punch that we saw into the source. You can't see what's going on. There we go. Welcome back to Live View. I just need to get everything back into position. There we go. Now what has happened in our absence? Langendijk remains ahead. Oravec 2 is still around. Under pressure slightly is that 75 car at the moment. I don't think the Porsche has the speed to get past in a straight line. There we go. But now the 75 car is going to have to go defensive against the 66, against the 24 car, and that's going to allow Langendijk in the 66 to scarper off into the distance, perhaps. Minton does have the backup of the 5 car in the form of Ollie Charles. For that car, however. So, potential...
Car number 806 receives a time penalty of 5 seconds. Time penalty of 5 seconds goes to car number 806.
There we go. And what else do we have up and down the field? That attack has dwindled slightly. Concoli in the leading AM car currently has 2 pro cars between himself and the next competition in his class of George Hemming. But I'm sure that Weeb car will become as wide as it needs to keep those cars behind. Having that cushion of 2 lumps of metal between yourself and your next competitor is something that any driver would love to have. Don't think there's... Oh, this could be something. We know those Porsches are very good through the corners here.
Incident between the cars 130 and 833 under investigation.
There we go. On the brakes, the Porsche has a half look to the inside. The 2 out brakes himself and makes it easy for Krisnik there. Position changed across the line. There we go. The timer screen will update. Further back, it's all going a little bit further apart. But now Concoli seems to have scarpered off to the tune of a second. Voodoo has got the same issue, and now the 2 Lexus are stuck together. Meanwhile, Moore is the last in this train. And looking to put pressure is George Hemming that has made the position up. So, battle over 8th position overall, currently being fought by 5 cars, all in a very short train. Front of the field has opened up a bit. Again, the toing and froing of this battle is somewhat what we expect. Doesn't look like there is, further down the field, Mara and Eugene, the 515 and the 404, battling over 22nd position as well. But this battle over 8th is absolutely what we want to be paying attention to. That's a beautiful drive for Maru though. Rear engine in that Porsche working really well for Maru in that Herbert livery. Evening to the Minton clan as well. Wide, really, really wide goes the Porsche to try and straight line Blanchimon as much as possible. The Aston behind has got a whole lot of speed as well. That Audi is still not looking too happy at all with its current pace. Now onto the start-finish straight. And we've got to look to the top here. They remain in the order that they were as they come across the line. And the 51 car is now under serious pressure from Voodoo. He's up in the draft. He's got it. Hey there, Tom. He's got his nose to the inside. This isn't really a battle for position, but it's useful to have a car in between the two competing cars. But that is a pass made easy for the 728, just able to get a better exit off Radion, sorry. And now Concoli is falling back into the clutches of George Hemming in the Lexus. Say what you will about those cars, but they are really reliable, really, really reliable cars. He says, going wide. There we go. Way to prove me wrong. Thanks, George. And now the battles separate into two distinct packs. The two up ahead, where that Mercedes, I'm sure, is desperate to get the pass back on the 728 of Voodoo. And then the 3-car battle here between the 25, 78 and 65. Ollie Charles, meanwhile, is looking like he's putting the right amount of pressure onto the Porsche, on the brakes on the outside. Can the 5 get it done? It doesn't matter if he does or not. Around the outside, keeps it within track limits. What a pass! What a pass! The Porsche is going to have the traction off the corner, but the 5 car is going to push him right to the inside. This is perfectly fair racing. This 5 car goes back to the racing line, almost onto the grass, takes the wider line. 24 car is forced to the inside. That was a beautiful pass by Ollie Charles. That was an incredible pass. So glad we caught that. Now up into Eau Rouge, is there anything the Porsche can do? With the rear wing pushing air out of the way, the Porsche goes wide as we would expect.
Car number 833 receives a warning for driving standards. 833, warning for driving standards.
That's, I think, about as fair
car
as you can be.
Car number 777 receives a time penalty of 5 seconds.
That
5 seconds penalty for car number 777.
There we go. There we go. As this fight isn't over yet, but suddenly Minton has been released from the attack of the 24 car, and now I'm sure it's Ollie Charles' job. As we have the Minton clan, what a pass! You're absolutely spot on. That was a pass several corners in the making. Are they actually teammates, Charles and Minton there? Or do they just happen to be running this similar liveries? Because if so, Minton is in a really good position right now, having Ollie right behind and able to play. Yes! Awesome. Team games coming into effect. Now, the 728 has cleared off ever so slightly, not by too much, only by about half a second or so. I'd say that it's got up to a second now. So that McLaren's starting to work a little bit well, and Hemming, meanwhile, is having a bit of a time in that 25 Lexus. Definitely able to keep with the 51 Mercedes. See, what's really funny is I can actually use my Oh, is that a look up the inside for the 25? It's not as good on the brakes as the Mercedes on this occasion. But that's absolutely fine for the time being. The 25 car now a little bit closer, a little bit more draft coming off the back of the Mercedes. That was a very late break. There is a concertina effect, but it will always, always set your heart racing. Oh, that's awesome. Remco? What number is Remco? Sorry. Oh, Langendijk. Roger. Oh, cool. So it's top 3 at the moment. As the Lexus goes to the outside, using the draft of the Mercedes in front to deficit the lack of power. Who can get it done on the brakes? Side by side, clean as you like, no contact whatsoever, and out of Le Con they come side by side as well. This is going to push them both back into the clutches of the Procar 78 and also into the clutches if they carry on like this. If they carry on like this into the clutches of the 3rd place of Alex Moore. Yes, Summer 60. Someone was referring to him as Romano or someone earlier, so I got very confused. That's all. I have asked the question as an independent party as to whether Langendijk's pass was legal. We will see how that unfolds. I love having race control being piped through to the stream as well. I don't know about the rest of you, but it really does add yet another dimension to these broadcasts, which, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how good any commentator is. You can't beat having live race control. You really can't. Especially in sim racing where everything is so cutthroat and tightly knit. What else is going on up and down the field? The 515, shockingly, is still in front of the 404. Somehow, that Audi is keeping in front of the Porsche.
Incident between cars 84 and 96 under investigation.
84 and 96. That would be Tadic and Mixic right down the back of the field. So even though these guys are miles apart, the Porsche... What? How did that happen? I was trying to look at numbers. That was an excellent pass. Once again, the bus stop being the source of all the action, but again, running off the track to complete the pass. I'm not sure as that is entirely the best thing to be doing. Let me grab the replay and see if we can work out where that occurred. So it was on the brakes, the Porsche... Oh, the Audi got a big kick of oversteer, so the Porsche took the... Okay, that's fair. So big kick of oversteer for the Audi. The Porsche takes evasive action and just takes the place in the process. That's absolutely fine and square, to my mind, when you are having to escape to avoid an incident. Yeah, fair game. The top of the timing screen seemed to be settling down slightly. Neither Zach is under pressure from the 17 of Kajawa. This is a battle for position, and the Aston Martin, well, the Aston Martins are looking super strong tonight in these current conditions. Cloudy conditions forecast as well, and no wind. That would explain the lack of changing conditions. Aston's looking super strong in a straight line as well. Victoria's Secret 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's what we like to hear. There isn't a point where the McLaren isn't struggling to keep it in a straight line. I wonder what's occurring with that 89 car. Aston on the brakes looks super composed, does the 17 car. And Moore has gotten past Kuchar as well. That has been a fairly recent development. And up ahead, there we go. Voodoo has seemingly backed the 51 car up into the Lexus. Oh, they've got to be watching their track limits there, because they will be earning
Car number
themselves.
84 receives a 5 seconds penalty for driving standards.
There we
5
go.
seconds penalty for car number 84.
All over the place for the Lexus. He gets on the brakes. He's up the inside. Can the Lexus hold it in a straight line? He gets a big kick of oversteer and can't quite hold it. That is position gained for Moore and Kuchar. But more importantly, Moore up into second in the AM class and within striking distance of that 51 Mercedes. This could be a debut winning class for Moore if he can hold it together. And if he can drag himself up and put pressure on the 51 car. Ollie Charles is going faster than he has previously. Oh, he is actually. So the track perhaps coming to the drivers even more, as Borovec now is falling away from the back of this leading battle. Kujawa is still on the back of Nida Zak. Now up the hill again. The Aston Martin up in the draft has got a horsepower advantage, it seems, up towards Blanchimont. Barely a hint of a lift for either of the drivers. McLaren doesn't feel like he needs to brake, and so it comes to pass. The 17 car has to wind up for another pass again. More under pressure now from Andre Kuchar, sorry. Different classes here, so no reason in keeping the car behind, but at the same time, just there is the fight for the lead of the race in AM class, and this could be a critical time. Not to mention, only half an hour has passed in this 2-hour race. We're a quarter of the way through this race, so no reason to throw anything away as yet. What else do we have? Nida Zak goes wide into Lecombe on the brakes. Didn't quite catch the start of that, but coming up. Here we go. To the outside goes the Aston Martin of Kujawa. They touch. Just the lightest of touches as they tried to turn in. They both recover safely, but that's pushed them back into Claudio Voodoo. And now Voodoo's looking...
Car number 84 receives a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. Drive-through penalty for car number 84.
Ouch. Car 84, that is the Sanal Tadic in the... where is he? Come on, give me a scroll. There we go, in the 911. GT3R. Minton gets the gap down to under a second for the lead. So that early pace the Langendijk had, perhaps fairly short-lived. We know that Dan knows how to look after his tyres here, so is this perhaps the offset coming back towards the BDX racing driver? It's going to be difficult when you get to within a second. That's where the dirty air starts to hit. Minton running out onto the yellow curb on the outside as well. Must be very confident with the balance of that 75 car. Oof. Yeah, it looks like Langendijk is starting to run out of tyres. As what is going on here?
Incident between cars 12 and 85 under investigation.
12 and 85, that would be... Am I blind? I might be blind. 12 of Ricardo Maya and 85.
Car number 12 receives a time penalty of 15 seconds. 15 seconds penalty for car number 12.
12 and 85. That's... We're getting an investigation for that pass for the lead, boys. Oof. So a 15-second penalty for Ricardo Maya. Meanwhile, at the top of the timesheets, it is down to 0.3 of a second. We now know that they are teammates in the longer races for Victoria's Secret. But here they are sworn enemies and running the same car as well. Minton goes to the outside to start with. Langendijk holds the middle of the road.
Incident between cars 17 and 89 under investigation.
There we go. That's one that I was expecting. Line astern for the time being. Minton shows his lights to the 66 car, but nothing that we shouldn't expect by now. He just looks so calm and kind on his tyres to Dan by comparison. Coming through a Rouge here. A really, really big steer to the left for Langendijk in front, whereas Minton was nice and smooth. Small movements on the wheel. Bear in mind too that Ollie Charles is only 3 seconds in arrears of that at this battle and potentially closing. He's holding station at the moment. But an astonishing opening bout of this race. If he doesn't make a move soon, he's got to make a move soon. Through Pouon and the 75 cars braking so much later. Let's jump on board with him very quickly and look forwards to that 66 car coming down into La Fagna now. Little brake mid-corner to stabilise the car for Langendijk. Short shifting for Minton. That's probably part of where the kindness to the tyres is coming from. If it starts to slip, he just short shifts. That was a lift off for the 66 car, which caught Minton out really, really badly. Also a really good tactic for defending to try and keep the car on its toes. Up towards Blanchimont, there is an overspeed for the 75 car. Could this be a pass for the lead? They both run ever so slightly wide. They're as close as they've been so far. Once again, the 66 will sit in the middle of the road. On the brakes, slightly different line through the first part, but out of the second part of the bus stop, they come out just as they entered. 66 doesn't feel the need to go defensive as yet, even though there is a big deficit in the tyre performance between these two Astons. No pressure, boys. Just a championship here. And then on the brakes into Lacombe again, the gap just goes out ever so slightly. It seems like there is there's pace left in, as Dan always does. He looks after his tyres really, really well, and is able to make them last longer than the
car number 17 receives a time penalty of 10 seconds. Time penalty of 10 seconds to car number 17.
Bear in mind that all of these time penalties will be served at their pit stops. So absolutely nothing to worry about as far as thinking about the final results. All will be resolved in the race. As I'm sure you all have a similar hatred of post-race penalties as I do. Apart from where it's absolutely necessary, of course. So Rakosnik now up in 13th, has been passed by quite a few of the drivers now. Suffering with grip from the
incident
Audi.
Between cars 66 and 75 under investigation.
And that is the pass for the lead that we were talking about. How interesting. The gap still remains 0.3 of a second, and this is about as good a chance as Minton's gonna have. What he's gonna have to do is just plant one up the inside. Dan doesn't do that though, that's the thing. He needs to be more aggressive than he's able to be, I think, to get the pass done. Up to the scene of the incident again. And through Mon Molly, if I remember correctly. Malmedy. I know it had two M's in. Where are the battles on the field other than the lead? Good grief, do you need any more of a battle than this? I mean, no, but at the same time, yes. Otto Winkler now side by side with Kohei... Not with Kohei Kawasaki. Oh my goodness, no. That is Ricardo Meyer. That is Otto Winkler overtaking Ricardo Meyer. Or re-overtaking him, having the pass made on him. Through the split time, there we go. That's the position change back. And now Kohei Kawasaki getting in on the action here as well. Gaps opened up ever so slightly at the lead. Don't you worry, I am keeping eyes on that. This is the slightly closer battle at the moment, though. This is a much closer battle for the AM lead, the 51 and the 65 of Concoli and Alex Moore. Moore is on the outside, but will have the inside coming down into Campus. Gets the pass done. Moore to the lead of the race on his debut. Can he keep it through Stavolo, though? That Mercedes is very, very wide and stable. The Aston Martin, though, is very quick in a straight line. Alex Moore to the lead of the race on his debut at ISDA. Doesn't even feel the need to defend at the moment. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Again, I have a personal investment in that particular battle. Hemming 2 just behind that battle. And taking on Pro.
Car number 66 receives a 5 seconds penalty. 5 seconds penalty for car number 66, along with a warning for driving standards and cutting the corners.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So that pass for the lead. Here we go. I'm commentating for the 2 hours, Steve. Sorry. Suddenly, this lead battle got a whole lot more interesting. These cars can go for over an hour at this pace. There's a yellow flag very briefly. Where was that? I don't know. Sorry about that. I missed that one. So this battle for the lead has suddenly become much more interesting as Langendijk receives a 5-second penalty and a warning for cutting the track for the overtake into Lecom on the second or third lap of this race.
Good evening, good afternoon.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Hey, welcome aboard.
I thought I saw my name disappear from the from the live room. Welcome. I suppose one of you need to welcome me to the race control room.
Welcome to the race control room.
There we go. It's a pleasure to be here. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Well, since it's the last race of the season, we wanted to invite you in, and well, it's not technically an invite.
It's starting raining here.
Oh my goodness, that came very quickly. Yeah, it's just started raining.
Okay, just 1 second, sorry. Should I start counting again the track limits at turn 4?
Please start. And this is how the race control is working here. We're even checking the cutting track and abusing the limits here. So yes, please carry on.
Awesome. Yes. Was there a reason for pulling me in?
Well, it's the last race of the season, so we wanted to tell how this season was good from here, and so that you can get the feeling of how big the race control is actually.
Oh no, I'm acutely aware of just how much work you guys do. There's been incidents that we've not seen at all on stream, or it's barely noticed, or it's barely noticed at all as far as the broadcast is concerned. But you guys have seen it and been on top of it. So no, the live stewarding, I said every single race how important it is and how good a job you're all doing. And yeah, just to carry on with it, we have at the moment a slew of cars dropping into the pit lane. This is going to be an interesting turn of events. Who do you guys think this is going to benefit most from the leading pack?
I'm actually surprised, or perhaps a bit worried, because it's 1 hour 20 until the end of the race. So I think now strategy will will become the most important thing, because a lot of cars can't make that 1 hour 20 without major fuel saving.
Correct.
Starting with, I don't know, Mercedes and Porsche, I think also.
The Porsche should be able to, unless they've been severely nerfed in the recent rebalance. I'm shocked.
Also, don't forget that this is Spa, which is heavy on fuel.
Yes, but it's also a lot of big stops, so there is the opportunity to lift and coast, especially coming up into the bus stop, going into La Source, going into Lecom. And if you knock off a couple of mile per hour off of the speed through Pouhon, you can make the tyres last a lot longer while not necessarily sacrificing lap time all that much. There's strategy to be played here.
Those are the words of an endurance guy.
Yeah.
We can see that you have a lot of experience with this.
I've watched so many 24-hour races. You have no idea. Borovec, meanwhile, has he pitted? I don't think he's pitted yet. So Borovec is braving it out at the moment. It looks like on slick tyres. I don't have that data, unfortunately.
Can we announce we're tracking track limits at turn 4, because there's a couple of guys going straight already.
Say that again?
Yeah, I'm just telling to Mali,
Okay.
Jankos, please announce we're tracking track limits at turn 4, because there are a couple of cars that are already going straight.
Yep, so I believe this is the moment we need to get back to work and announce it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I think I will drag you back so we can focus on doing the brilliant work you're doing for us.
Of course.
Commentating this race, and in the meantime we will also focus on checking how the race is going. So
Yes.
Thank you for coming by. Thank you for having a little chit chat with us.
No,
And,
thank
yeah.
you for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for all the work you're doing. Obviously, none of this would be remotely possible without all of your hard work. So from all the drivers, from all the guys that are watching the streams, and from me personally, thank you so much for putting this on. It's great to be part of something that's been handled exactly as I would want sim racing to be handled.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, moving you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. And so we go once more to the silence, and suddenly the 2-car who has... Oh no, that is a lap down for the 24 car. This is going to be a terrifying period. I've kept it on Borovec for a reason. That Porsche is going to be super lively in these conditions. Minton, having pitted for wet tyres, has jumped early as he should. And I'm sure we're going to see the rest of these cars pile into the pits now. I'm shocked. I am thoroughly shocked to see that.
The track limits on turn number 4 will be investigated. Abusing the track limits on the turn number 4 will be under investigation.
The top 5 cars drop into the pits, and Ricardo Meyer is the next in the list to come round. Minton is the first of our drivers out onto wets. And how does his time compare to the previous lap of the rest? I tell you what, it was a 2-minute 18 last time round for Langendijk and Ollie Charles. There's every possibility that the rain wasn't quite heavy enough to affect the conditions quite as quick as we were expecting. And there's someone, who was it that put it in chat? Igor, even better for the Aston, says Igor55 in the YouTube chat. I don't know, it depends on the setup. Those cars are still very capable of being put too low, but the rain isn't heavy enough at the moment. There's still plenty of space between all of the cars and the surface of water that might be gathering on the racetrack. As Minton comes down the start-finish straight, the 5-second penalty will be served by Langendijk here. So as the Aston rolls out of the pit lane, Langendijk, Ollie Charles will leave the... Well, hang on. Oh my goodness, Ricardo Meyer is still out on slicks. I know what he's doing. He's running the car so he can only run one stop. This is incredible bravery from Ricardo Meyer, but it might well save him. Minton now has a 9-second lead, having pitted on the previous lap, has maintained a 2-minute 18 lap, so a blisteringly fast pace from Minton for starters. And then, with the 5-second penalty that Langendijk had to serve for that illegal overtake, as it turned out, in turn 5, 6, one of the two. This does shake the order up a lot as well. I imagine Meyer will be pitting in the next 2 laps. The McLaren should be able to, as he loses the position to Minton. I wonder how that happened. Let's keep eyes on Meyer here. Just to give you an idea of how busy he's going to be on the wheel there. There we go. Armfuls of understeer. Dan has pitted. He did pit. He was one of the first to pit. Oh no. There were 3 laps of pitters. The first were the ones that had a strategy set so that they could just arm wet tyres and go. The second set were those that had either passed the pit stops or the pit entry, or were... Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Were either past the pit entry when it started raining, or they were too close, didn't have something set up. And the third lap seemed to be those who were trying to tough it out and get what was left out of those slick tyres before the end of the race. This is astonishing bravery from Ricardo Mayer. It's not going to work out for him in the long run, I don't think. The rest of the pack is too close now. But if he can... Yeah, the forecast is for rain. So there's every possibility here that if it's only rain... Yeah, we were watching the battle further down the field, which is why you didn't see it. I'll tell you what, that 12 car is looking very, very stable. I was expecting a lot more oversteer every time he approached the throttle. Pulls to the inside. This isn't his fight. For Mayer here. And right to the outside. Ooh! There you go. That's why you don't get off the racing line in these wet conditions. Because there is no way that you're going to hold it together. As the split times come through, there we go. Langendijk 9 seconds in arrears of the 75 car. So clearly, Minton, having got into the pits early as anything, has got the jump on the 66 car, assuming that the rain isn't going to stop. This is going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the strategy is concerned. Big ol' understeer moment for the 12 there. I wonder if this is where he's going to pit. If he does, I'll cut away, don't you worry. Into the pitch. So this is now within a stint of the end of the race. How will this affect Ricardo Mayer's position? We don't know. This is a really, really long game that Mayer's playing.
Car number 51 receives a warning for cutting a truck.
There we go. This is where the warnings will start to come through for cutting through Raidillon. Look at this. A mix of Am and Pro cars being led by Claudio Voodoo. So Mayer has only just lost the lead. I wonder if he's in the first or the second half of the pit boxes. Because if he's in the first half and he's already served his pit stop, then that is awesome progress for him. Remember now that all of these times will come down. The gaps between the cars will come down simply by virtue of the cars travelling a little bit slower. Nonetheless, there's still lots of fighting going on up and down the field. I'll tell you what, that's a very bright black and white car for Lord Nem, who's got an awesome drive on the 13 car. Across the line, he was about there, but here we go. Aston Martin to the inside of the 13 car on the brakes. Who's bravest? And McLaren's got so much grip in the wet. That's astonishing. And now Mayer in the 12. Nope, that's wrong. Whose is that Porsche? That's Big Sick in the 96. There we go. So Mixic not in this fight. So this is the fight over 17th. With Maru in front of Smith, in front of Lord Nem. And I'm sure Mixic has in the back of his mind that he doesn't want to be part of this fight whatsoever. He just wants to get around the lap and out of the way so that the rain stops in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes! Oh my goodness! So it goes from a wet track to a dry track, and who's going to be the bravest, the first to put those slicks back on and make the difference? It looks like... Hang on a second. I thought that was getting close. So behind the lead of the AM class, Andre Kushar and George Hemming swapping places, it looks like, or trying to in the very least. No, it's Krisnik. Krisnik making the place up in that number 3 car, and as always happens in these wet races, the Porsche is coming alive. Ooh, Lexus just about outbrakes himself, and that number 80 car behind is looking threatening too. This fight all about the top, the last position in the top 10. Points available all the way down here, but every little helps as far as the final round of the championship is concerned. The Porsche runs wide, that's absolutely fine, especially in these wet conditions. Getting off the racing line can help with the grip and traction for these wet tyres to dig into the tarmac. Slightest of gaps forming now, separating these two battles. Moore is still pressuring the 728 of Claudio Voodoo in front. But that won't do him any good whatsoever. That's just to put a car between himself and the next place car. Out of Stavolo they come now. And where's the Aston? Aston looking to pressure Claudio Voodoo here. This is an AM car fighting against a pro car. The Aston Martin once again showing absolute strength. Voodoo can do nothing against the assault of the 65 car other than run wide into the bus stop. This could be another pass that takes a couple of corners to mature. But Moore falls back into the clutches of Hemming in the second place car, the second place AM car now. On the brakes, on the defensive for the 65. And this is where the Lexus is strong as well in the wet. The Aston Martin too has a lot of performance to give. But that Lexus is going to be difficult to keep behind. Keep an eye on the weather widget in the top right hand corner of your screens, because this is what the endurance racing scene is all about. The changing conditions. Who's going to be bravest? Who's going to make the strategy work for them? And with an hour and 2 minutes left to go, who is going to come out on top?
Car number 4 receives a warning for cutting the track. Car number 51 receives a 5 seconds penalty for cutting the track.
And
5 seconds penalty for car number 51.
5 seconds for Concoli. So after fighting in the lead of this race in the AM class, suddenly falling back to third at the moment, could fall even further back. I don't think he will at the moment. There's a big enough gap between himself and the rest of the AM field. But what a revelation has this 65 car been. Oh, Yankees is still here.
Car number 5 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
Who was that was off on the inside? That's a very damaged Kirkner just getting out of the way of the lapping cars. That's absolutely fine. More than yo-yoing between the two cars around him. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, other than the two Porsches down the back of the field, bright yellow and bright pink of Andy Brooker and Koei Kawasaki. That looked like it was a let-off for Brooker. Mara in the 404 car is in the pits as well. I would assume that's for damage. I wonder why that space was given. Brooker not wanting to fight, perhaps, in these conditions. Feeling like he needs to hold on a little bit too much at the moment. Voodoo again under pressure. Coming into La Source. And this is where it's so important to nail your exit, because in warm conditions, shall we say, that acceleration you get out of La Source will be held all the way through this hill, through Eau Rouge, through Radion, through the kink at Kemmel, and then all the way up the Kemmel straight. That pace is all on the same acceleration. In the wet, there's a bit of a break as they come up towards Radion, Eau Rouge and Radion. Up the inside then, peaks the nose of the 65 Aston Martin, pushes the McLaren wide. This is going to slow the McLaren and perhaps spawn an opportunity into Bruxelles. McLaren comes off the side of the road. Not the most defensive line in the world, but perhaps a little bit defensive. I'll have a look back at the Garage 59 car. And on the throttle coming down towards Pouhon. What is the performance of that 65 car? The McLaren runs wide, a four-wheel slide for Claudio Voodoo, and the 65 car sees clear air for the first time in goodness knows how long. The second AM car will make his way through as well. I'm sure Voodoo will not let that stand for long, and suddenly Voodoo is under pressure from the number 3 Porsche, who is looking so excellent in these wet conditions. 5 minutes now, or between 5 and 15, the rain is going to stop. I hope that the bit rate on the stream is high enough that you guys can see the rain as it is at the moment. Voodoo under pressure from the Porsche. The split came down to 0.1 of a second, perhaps a little bit of a let-off for the Porsche GT3R. On the brakes again. Krisnik doesn't have the feeling in the brake pedal to be able to make a move. Otto Winkler is under pressure from Barnabas Concoli in two different classes again.
Car number 12 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
Car number 12, that will be Ricardo Maya, running a bit faster than he has been over the past few laps, getting to grips with this wet weather. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. It just means that I don't have to point out when it stops raining, because you guys will be able to see. As the battles have all seem to have opened up ever so slightly, that's almost disappointing. Zamora under pressure from Borovec. Yes, he is. So that very, very pointy 77 Audi. As the weather just ticks over to your 5-minute warning for when the rain is going to stop. We have eyes on a battle on track. Let's run through the positions as they stand with 57 minutes to go. An hour and 3 done in this 2-hour race. Dan Minton leads the way in the 75 Aston Martin. 5 seconds behind is Remco Langendijk in the 66, and Ollie Charles was trying to pressure it in the 5 car but has fallen away ever so slightly. Damien Kujawa in the 4th Aston Martin in a row at the top of the timesheets. In 4th position, neither Zach has defended his position in the 89 from Zamora and has got a very comfortable position in 5th. Zamora in 6th, Borovic in 7th. That is the fight that we're watching. The 77 runs wide. Will he be able to keep the position? He goes to the middle of the road to defend. The 24 tries to get up the inside, but this is going to be a switchback. That's a bit of contact. But that may have been netcode, actually. I wonder if this is the pace being given back. It doesn't look like it. Side by side, they come down into La Source. And perhaps with the switchback now, a bit better traction off the corner. The 77 might be able to claim that position back. Coming down the hill. Hendrik, where are you? Where are you tonight? I miss your face. Anyway, running down, we got as far as 6th and 7th, which has now swapped. Alex Moore in the 65 car, leading the AM class, with George Hemming now right up underneath his bumper in the Lexus RCF, which again is coming to life in these wet conditions. Sorry, that gap was peculiar. Hemming, then Claudio Voodoo, having run wide at one corner, lost 2 positions in the race. That doesn't matter overall because they are in a different class to him, but he is now under pressure from the number 80 Jaguar of Decusa in 11th. 12th is Igor Krishnik. 13th is Oli Kuchar. Otto Winkler in 14th. Concoli is the 3rd place Amcar with a 5-second penalty to his name in 15th. Lord Nem in the 666 car is 16th. 17th will be Dan Smith in the 720S. Rekesnik will be 18th. Dunster 19th. Theo Smolik in the 76 is 20th. 21st will be Kuklov Eugene. Andy Brooker in 22nd. 23rd will be Beswick. Ricardo Meyer will be 24th, Kawasaki 25th, Kirchner in 26th, 27th will be Miksik, 28th will be Dan Babik. Hang on. Don't know why, but I can't seem to scroll down, unless that is the entire field at the moment. No, 25th is Kawai Kawasaki. There we go, so we are down to 25 cars. No, we're not. So Kirchner in the 777, Miksik in the 96 car, Babik in the 101, and Harvark in the 331 up the back of the field. Meanwhile, that gap between the 6th and 7th is not opening up at all. Porsche is going to have to be fairly prudent with his driving, and Kawasaki too is in the pits, so we will disregard that for the time being. Otto Winkler under pressure from Concoli. Still, the big pink Mercedes inching closer to the back of the car, but gets a big old wiggle, does the 35, and suddenly that position is even more under threat as they come down the hill. You heard the rain stop. That's it. That's our rain for the time being. And suddenly, the race is thrown on its head again. The 51 car, I think, is that a place being given back? It looks like it. Either that or a tremendous tow from the GTR. Or just a poor exit off of Radeon. There's also an option. Either way, gentlemanly driving to keep out of the way. And, oh, the silence is deafening without that rain now. 15 minutes only is our prediction, and let's face it, that's about as much as you possibly could predict for Spa. As the rain has stopped, the track is only going to get warmer and it's only going to get drier. How long before we see a dry line start to form? That's so awful, Pindrick. You should have joined, man. You should have joined. Joined from the back of the grid. You should be able to join from the... Actually, you might not be able to join from the pit lane once it's in session. That's a shame. It would have been nice, though. There is a 0.606 gap between the 80 and the 3. And that Porsche just starting to look a little bit more confident than the Audi. The Porsche dives to the inside to try and get some wet onto the tyres, which I'm sure that dry line is going to be forming within seconds. Chris Nick into the pits. As the track is still damp, the 25 car is suddenly going to be the touch paper by which everybody else is measured against. This might be a bit early. This might be a lap or two early for the 25 car, but we'll see. I will reserve judgment. The sheer pace that the Porsche had has been halted by the ending of the rain. But now a 3-car battle over 9th position in the race. 8th in Pro Class, let's be very fair as well. Langendijk back up to within 3 seconds of Minton now. So in these drying conditions, got another big slide from the 728 car. I do like that D'Couza's team name is Questionable Choices, and he's taken the worst balance of performance car on the grid. Naida Zak now as well, hunting up towards the back of Kujawa. So the rain hasn't even stopped entirely. As big ol' lunge up the inside for the number 3 Porsche. This is where the Porsche is strongest, through these twisty bits. But that's not going to be enough at the moment. You need to have the pace up the hill as well. And I don't think it does. Naida Zak takes the position, but that is because Minton and Langendijk both into the pits. Kujawa as well dropping into the pit lane as well. Ollie Charles will run the 5 car for another lap. The track is still damp. I still feel it's a little bit early to be judging anything, but we look to the 25 car of George Hemming, who is out on slicks. This is going to be interesting. It looks comfortable, I'll say that much. But how much of that... Oh, big ol' understeer on cold tyres. The track's warm enough. It's whether he's fast enough on these slick tyres. I wish we could see his face, the face of concentration. Kujawa to the pits. Oh, this is insane. This is absolutely mental. So, Ollie Charles is staying out. Naida Zak has stayed out. Borovic has stayed out. Zamora has stayed out. Moore has stayed out. I dare say this track is drying up quicker than I was expecting.
Car number 3 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
Oof. Lots of track limits penalties being played out here. So, Hemming coming up to the final sector. Come up to the finish line now. And obviously not a representative lap time as he's just come out of the pits. This is going to be the first real indication of dry pace that we have. Just trying to find any kind of indication on any kind of indication whatsoever. He is not quick, I don't think. Borovec is going quicker. Zamora is into the pits. It is down to Greasy now. So perhaps this could be the changeover point. Perhaps another lap. As Voodoo comes across the line, still on slicks. Still on wet, sorry. It's still going faster. So 2 minute 19, 2 minute 20s. Ollie Charles, where is... Minton is completing his first lap. Hemming. 2:19.7 was his fastest time. He is running significantly slower than that at the moment. Moore is going quicker too. It looks like there is still quite a bit of wet on the track. So perhaps all of these drivers are making the jump a little bit too soon. More Amcar to the head of the field. Once again, it's not the first time we've seen that in this championship. And Voodoo, this is a genuine fight for position now. Voodoo up behind Borovec in the 24 car. We've just been keeping an eye on the drivers that haven't been able to drop into the pits yet. Come on, game. Oh, big old slide from the 24 car, and that Voodoo is gifted.
Car number 515 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
It feels like the track isn't quite ready yet. I dare say the track isn't quite ready yet. It's getting to the point now where it's possible to start thinking about it, but the soft compound that the wet tyres are made of, they're already up to temperature. There's a bit of dry line.
Car number 66 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
Langendijk with a warning, and here comes the dry line. Look at it now. Hemming's lap time last time round was a 2 minute 32, so way off the pace for the of the leaders, and way off his own pace. So lots left to fight for here. I feel as though, I'm saying gut feeling right now, we've got 2, maybe 3 laps more into the pits. That dry line is starting to form, but I still think that there is a couple more laps left in this particular battle. Borovec to the pits as well. This is going to be... This is where it all comes down to. Voodoo has stayed out, and he is going faster than he's gone previously. I think that might be... I'm not too sure. Oh, big old wiggle. And that will be track limits infringement for the 728. Get over to the inside. Get on some wet tarmac. Cool those tyres down. He's not bothered. Voodoo's not bothered about cooling those tyres down yet. So he's obviously confident in what he's got underneath him at the moment. Ollie Charles putting pressure on Minton now. They are teammates at the head of the field, what will end up being the head of the field. Langendijk, is Langendijk not? Is Langendijk not pitted yet? I can't see what... I obviously can't see what... Actually, can I see what tyres he's on? No, he's on dries. He has pitted.
Car number 96 receives a penalty, a warning for cutting the track limits.
A warning, not a penalty, for Matej Miksik. So Langendijk seems to have really cut his stride. Oh, big wiggle. What was that on the 21 car? The 101 car. Big old wiggle. Moore is out of the... Moore is out of the... Where has he fallen back to? Up the hill. There's very, very bumpy endurance pit exit. He is in front of... He is just behind Zamora. So that is the 24 car behind, fighting with D'Couza. D'Couza has lost out, but Moore has timed it pretty much to perfection and extends the lead at the head of the field. Kujawa is going faster than he's been before. Voodoo. Is Voodoo... Hang on, am I... Because we know the Voodoo hasn't been in the pits yet. No, but these tyres are legit. Okay. He is still on wets. How is he making this work? He can't go like this to the end of the race. He can't go like this to the end of the race. But with the pace that he's carrying... Now he's on the wet part of the tarmac. Now the tyres are starting to suffer. Here we go.
Car number 24 receives a warning for cutting the track limits. Car number 5 receives a 5 seconds penalty for cutting the track limits.
Ooh.
5 seconds time penalty for car number 5.
Sudden battle emerging from next to... Where's D'Couza gone? Oh, D'Couza has disappeared up the road. It was a couple of tenths of a second. And Borovic has now been pushed back by the lapping car, or number 12 car of Maya, into the grips of the 25 Lexus. With the 78 not too far behind, as well as number 3. Good grief, this is one long train for position. I am intrigued. Minton has let Ollie Charles pass, so Ollie obviously having much better pace at the moment. So 5 second penalty. Oh, big cut for the 24 car. Still not happy with... Yeah, what's going on here? This is just one long train of cars fighting over 10th position. Borovic had to cut the course, I think, to maintain his speed or, you know, not have a massive accident. Big outbraking for Andre Kushar in the 78. Will just about keep his position from the number 3. But big pressure on all of these drivers now, trying to feel out where the grip is and where it isn't. Oh, I really want to go at this. Oh, big wiggle for Krusnik. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Just getting onto the AstroTurf on the outside, and that enormous engine out the back of the Porsche, dragging the rear of the car sideways off the track. It's really unfortunate. That was shaping up to be a wonderful little battle there. As what is going on around here? That's a very good point from Hervo Pindrick in chat. Brilliant to have a driver able to give their perspective in the middle of the race. Let me just jump on the Hemming car. There we go. Is still pressuring the 24 car, who, let's not forget, ran wide last time, going through Eau Rouge and then cut Radion essentially. Is the point that Pindrick made was how many drivers managed to set up their pressures correctly when changing back from wet tyres. because that isn't something that they will have had set up in the existing preset. So they would have had to either set up the changes manually, or perhaps have their own preset for when they thought they might change back to dries. Lord Nem in the 666 car. He changed cars a couple of times, but that Bumblebee Yellow Aston Martin is starting to once again put pressure on the 13 car. 13 runs wide at Francorchamps. So struggling to get the performance out of the McLaren for the time being. Feel as though the rest of the field is fairly... Yeah, it's not. Is that Babbitt in the pits? Is that must be for damage. So Jokic is not here. Tadek has gone as well. Nem through Eau Rouge. And shockingly, Minton, having led this race at times, has now fallen into the clutches of the 89 McLaren. And that gold McLaren, I wonder if Zach has set up.
Car number 666 receives a warning for cutting the track limits.
So a warning for Lord Nem. Trying to get a little bit too close to that number 13 car and perhaps losing the aero because of it. So Minton goes from being the leader to the rear gunner at the moment, with Ollie Charles running around in second position. Let me just very quickly have a look at the standings, because I have this really strange feeling. They're all in Pro Class, so Minton is competing with Zamora, so he's doing well for fourth at the moment. But he's also only 4 or 5 points away, 3 points in fact, from matching Nida Zach. So any positions gained here could spell third position overall in the championship. Rochepal is not out of reach either, having been eschewed from proceedings by Real Life Matters once again. It's a shame as well, because that Bentley would have been superb in these conditions. But Minton's doing a very good job of keeping Zach behind and pushing him back into the 17 of Kajawa. This could do his championship hopes no harm whatsoever if Kajawa can get the pass made and have an Aston Martin directly behind in the form of Kajawa.
Car number 51 receives a 5 seconds penalty for cutting the track limits.
That's a big dive from the 89
Time
McLaren.
Of 5 seconds for car number 51.
75 goes super conservative on defending the plates, lets both of them go. I wonder what the what's going on in that Aston Martin.
Car number 4 receives a 5 seconds penalty for cutting the track limits. 5 seconds penalty for car number 4.
Car number 4 is David Dunster. So suddenly Nida Zach is in the pound seat to inherit quite a few points against the two leaders of the championship who aren't in attendance tonight. But now the 89 having to go defensive against another Aston Martin. 17. That was, I'm going to just There we go. 89 weaving across the road, trying to keep the 17 behind. He knows how quick those Astons are in a straight line. No, Minton is on slicks. I can confirm that for you if thou wishes. So he is on dries. Perhaps he's fallen foul of the tyre pressures not being set correctly. Now this is an interesting battle. But now up the hill, this is where the power makes a difference for the Aston Martin. With the draft of the McLaren in front, he's going to have a massive overspeed up through Blanchimont again. How many times have we seen a pass built like this? 89 doesn't feel the need to go defensive at the moment, but that 17 is massive on the brakes. Grief, I'm sorry. A bit of my London came out there. As what is going on there in 9th? I don't want to look away from this battle because this is an awesome battle for over 3rd overall in the race. But the gap for 9th here. Voodoo on the defensive from the 24 car in Borovec. Now that the track has dried up, all of the detritus has been washed away from earlier in the race. We have a beautiful green track that is ripe for some rubber being put down. That is the 25 AM car behind the 24 Porsche, ready to make the jump should either of these two cars make a mistake. And right behind him as well is Ollie Kushai in the other Lexus. Team Lexus just hovering outside the top 10 at the moment, waiting, plotting. Where can they make their move? Can they make their move? That 728 has the measure of all the cars behind in a straight line, but in the twisty bits. And once again, wide on the exit of turn 4 goes both the McLaren and the Porsche. Lexus is going defensive in the background. Not confident is hemming on the pace of the 78 behind. Side by side, they come into Lecombe. 78 will just concede the place. His intentions have been made known, but he's not going to push it too hard at this point in time. Back to the battle at the top of the field. The gap comes down to 0.3 of a second in the apex just there of Stavolo. Campus, sorry. Stavolo is this one. Out onto the straight. No, the setup was good in the early part of the race. The only thing that's changed is the track conditions, which the track temperature has gone down slightly, which might have affected the performance. I just saw a number disappear.
Behavior of a car number 89 is under investigation.
So, the stewards are looking into perhaps the defensive driving of the 89. I know that Zach was very defensive in that particular attempt because the Aston had a wicked drive off the exit of Radion here. And once again, the Aston cuts over the inside of turn of Radion. Does the Aston have the straight line speed again? Drive through for the number 5 car of Ollie Charles. That will not have been administered by the stewards. That will be a drive through for track limits. And once again, Langendijk is at the top of the timesheets with a 10-second gap. Somehow from nowhere, that 66 car has got an enormous lead. And again, 12th and 13th. I'm trying to. There we go. 12th and 13th, Kuchar and Krishnik. The place has already swapped and it's about to swap back as they come down towards Le Combe. The Porsche is being eaten in a straight line, but is mighty on the brakes, gets the car stopped and keeps it within the white lines as well. Applaud, please, for Igor Krishnik for keeping that Porsche on the black stuff. That is an excellent pass that took the entirety of the Kemmel straight to secure. Great pace, great driving from the number 3 car. Next on his hit list will be the 25 car, the AM car of George Hemming. And then only a second up the road is the 24 Porsche. Sorry, 3 seconds up the road. That's better. And then Borovic is a second in arrears of Claudio Voodoo. Kujawa once again on the back of Nida Zak coming across the line. The gap comes down to 0.3 of a second. It's as good an opportunity to make a suicide dive into turn 1, but there's no point in making a dive when the driving standards are under review for the car in front. Not so much a good drive off the source hairpin there. And suddenly this fight over third becomes a fight over second position as Ollie Charles drops into the pit lane for his drive-through. He had been extending tracks too many times. He's going to have to be really careful. Is Nida
Car
Zak
number 89 receives a time penalty of 5 seconds for driving standards.
5 second time
penalty for car number 89.
5 second time penalty for Nida Zak, and suddenly this fight is all for naught as the 89 gets a 5 second time penalty for, I would guess, moving too many times along the Kemmel Straight. And Ollie Charles still has that 5 second penalty to worry about as well. No, 100%. You don't want to be awarded a drive-through on Spa because, of course, they use the endurance pits. It'd be okay if it was the Formula 1 pits or just the Formula 1 pits. But it's not. And it's a massive, massive punishment. Give me time penalties any day of the week compared to a drive-through. I wonder if Kujawa, knowing now that there is a 5 second penalty there, has just given up on that position on the road. Hemming on the defensive, not even defending. Oh, not even defending against the Porsche. Turns in on the number 3 car. But Krishnik was having none of it. He was not going to be denied that position. And again, having that position made, what is it? Is 1.2 seconds. This could be a 7th position overall in Pro Class for Krishnik. Oh no, it's 6 seconds is the gap to the 24 Porsche. And still under pressure is the 25 car, Andrei Kuchar, sorry. Stuck on Ollie for some reason. Trying to make some progress past. Is that the... It's not the leader. Who is that? That is Ollie Charles, who is in this fight. Being dragged back into the fight over 11th position. So that drive-through really was punishing from 2nd to 13th in this race. Just goes to show just how punishing that pit lane really is to get given a drive-through. Again, it wasn't done by the stewards. This is something that has been automated. There are sensors around the outside of the track and the inside of the track. You cut too much, you're going to be in trouble. Also in trouble is the 25 perhaps went very defensive and a big slide. Big slide and incredible reflexes from both Andre and Ollie Charles to avoid the spinning 25 car. And still the fight goes on. Just because one car is out of it doesn't mean this is still a battle over 11th between Andre Couchard and Ollie Charles. Wide goes the 5 car. Let's try and get a bit of straight line speed coming down towards Pouhon. The Aston will have no aero on the front at the moment. Big old wiggle under braking as well for that Lexus. I wonder if it was just perhaps a little bit more set up for the wet weather and it didn't last long enough for that to work out for them. Voodoo is starting to be under pressure from Borovec yet again, as the 78 5 car has the straight line speed. Can't do anything with it at the moment through Paul Frere. Up into Blanchimont. Nose to tail they come. And this is where the 5 needs to make the attack work. It's not going to happen on this occasion. Or perhaps it is. The 78 was not good into the first part. Side by side they will come across the line into La Source. The 5 will have the outside. Lexus trying to push the Aston Martin back to the racing line. Ollie's done this a couple of times where he's forced the drivers to the... Oh! That's going to be a wait for the number 5 car. He's not waiting. That's a shame. Come on, Couchard, get it turned round. Good man. Back onto the racing line. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Really unfortunate that it ended up like that. Hopefully, Ollie will slow down and allow the 78 car to
incident
catch up.
Between cars 78 and 5 under investigation.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Meanwhile, Kujawa, having had enough of looking at the back of that gold McLaren, is looking to mount a charge again. The gap to the lead remains at 20 seconds. So, depending on how good Kujawa is in that 17 car, it's possible. Not probable, but possible. But he would need to pull out some blisteringly quick laps, keeping up with some of the fastest that we've seen today. He is capable of it. That's the thing. I can see on his best lap, he's capable of doing that pace. And this is the lapped car of... Which number is that? That's the 4 car. The 4 car of David Dunster, who is going to need to get out of the way at some point. They are closing up on the leader, but then again, Langendijk's got 20 seconds to lose. Aston tries to go to the inside. 89 goes across to cover. Side by side, they're going to come up into Lecombe, but suddenly, which of them is going to get balked by the Aston? The McLaren goes into Lecombe first. Oh, but the Aston can't go anywhere. There's nothing he can do. Stop flashing. Zag goes to the inside. Aston Martin, the Dunster goes to the outside, allows both of the cars through. Good driving from Dunster there. Really level-headed. Didn't allow himself to get pressured too much by one of the leaders. I'm sure he knew that Nida Zak was there and it wasn't for position. But you can't just disappear. You can't make the car just evaporate off of the road. It needs to be done, and the leading drivers need to have that patience as well. That's what makes the best racers are drivers that have the patience to sit with the slower cars and just live with them while they have to. Otto Winkler now closing up on the back of George Hemming as well. And on top of that, we have a battle over 8th and 9th as well. Where on earth do I look? 16 minutes remain. This is still the battle over 2nd position. It's not exactly a battle over 2nd position. It's more, are they going to clatter into each other? We've seen some very, very defensive driving already from Nida Zak, and he is not afraid.
Car number 5 receives a drive-through for causing a collision.
Yep.
A drive-through penalty for car number 5.
So again, Ollie Charles' day going from bad to worse. I must admit, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. It's not so much that the accident happened. That was an accident. But to not wait and to drive off into the sunset and leave Kuchar, what, if I had to hazard a guess, a good 20 seconds or so? Ollie Charles, okay, it's only down to 10 seconds. Bit of a red mist descending over the car that was running 2nd position. And again, I can't disagree with that decision. Stewart's as always on point in this league. As Winkler has dropped. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Ignore me, just all of those times updated at the same time. I didn't see the names move. And 35 has got pace. Where does it have pace versus the Lexus, though? That's the key information here. What is Otto trying to do here? Oh, and suddenly a fight is breaking out behind the 80 Jaguar. The number 80 Jaguar of D'Couza is in 7th position. I mean, he may not have the pace to be in 7th, but he's in 7th at the moment. Through what can only be described as strategy.
Behavior of a car number 4 is under investigation.
Ooh. Car number 4 is David Dunster once again. I can't... okay, we'll see. Other than on the Kemmel Straight, which I'm sure he felt he was far enough ahead that he didn't have to get out of the way at that point. Oh, this was a quick one. Perhaps.
Car number 4 receives a 15 seconds penalty for disobeying a blue flag rule.
There we go.
A time penalty of 15 seconds for car number 4.
Again, I can't argue with it. I really can't. Is this the run that the 728 needs? Coming up into into the bus stop. Oh, it's the closing speed under braking. That's what gets me. That McLaren is a monster. Absolute monster. And here we go. The Jaguar will run down the centre. He won't even go to the centre of the road. Won't even run to the centre of the road. We'll just follow the 80 car through and get a tighter line on the exit and use the acceleration. Really, really good driving, as always, from Voodoo here. Didn't make it happen on this occasion. Oh, but got a massive amount of pace over the Jaguar through Radeon. Was not expecting the car to be that slow, and now is stuck side by side coming into Le Com, and this could end in tears. Space left by the 728. Really good driving, and again 80 stuck to his line, did everything that he could. Brilliant driving as always from these guys. Voodoo and D'Couza, again, some of the best drivers in this league, and these drivers are really good. Kajawa looking like he was threatening for the position, but assumedly through traffic has just fallen away slightly. D'Couza still not done with his defensive driving lessons, has the teammate of, or the the championship leader for the team's championship, directly behind. Through the second split. About now, I think. There we go. 2/10 the gap. And 3/10 the gap, just about. Let's have a look very quickly at the 25 car, who was on the defensive, now on the attack against the 35 of Otto Winkler. What a vicious battle with 11 minutes to go. They haven't settled this whatsoever. Lexus gets back out onto the straight nice and clean. And can stretch his legs up the hill. Where's Borovec gone? What has happened to Borovec? He has fallen away from the Jaguar. Let's just have a look very quickly. We haven't looked at a replay for ages, so you can't really complain that we haven't been. Looking at live time. There we go. Looking at the 24 car of Borovec. What happened here was on the back of the Jaguar here. He's going to haul out that anchor into the bus stop and get clattered by Lamborghini. Oh no! Oh, a lapped car getting involved in the battle over 8th. That's awful. What an awful turn of luck for Borovec there. I mean, I've been in Harbach's place there, getting up on the grass on the inside, and then you just lose all grip whatsoever. Winkler still on the attack to the 35. Was able to get past, but then the performance in the twisty bits managed to drag that 25 car back in front. Looking for battles around the rest of the field. They all seem to be fairly spread out, other than this and perhaps the fight between the two Porsches in the Pro Class. I think they are the only two Porsches in the Pro Class as well. Give me a second. Mix 6 in Pro Class as well. So Borovec is able to, man, that the approach speed. I'll tell you what. Let's take some time. Jump on board with the Kajawa's made the pass. Up on the Kemmel straight. We'll go to replay once again. I promise you, this is important. Because that means that the pass was made on track, which is how we want to see it done. So, coming out of the last corner, Kajawa has the outside line. Nadezakin goes defensive, and then Kajawa does the swap on him. It didn't even get to the Kemmel straight. He just did a switchback on the entry to turn 1. Beautiful pass. Textbook from the 17 car. And that is how you do that. Brilliant, brilliant driving from the 17 car. Promotes himself to second on the road, and that is critical in these dying moments of the race. It's one thing to win because of a time penalty. It's another thing entirely to win or to gain a position on the track. Krisnik has lost out to Borovec as well in the lower echelons of the top 10, just outside the top 10 in fact. The battle between the 35 and 78 reverses once again to the benefit of Otto Winkler. And with 6 minutes to go, I'm going to say it.
Incident between cars 24 and 331 is under investigation.
Ooh, that's going to be a hook, line and sinker, that is. Penalty of Art Harvark. .78 looks... These cars both seem to be at exactly the same pace. And the only difference that's being made here is that one has the draft of the other. One is faster in the corners, one's faster down the chutes. And I think you can tell which one's better in the corners by the one which stayed within track limits there. On the defensive goes the 35. 78 around the outside. This is a perfectly legitimate pass here.
Car number 331 receives a drive-through penalty for causing a collision.
That's a big
penalty for car number 331.
That's a big penalty, and again, you're getting in the way of cars which are a lap ahead of you. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Minton back up to 4th position in front of the 77 car. 18 seconds now in arrears of Neither Zach. He only needs to get within 5 seconds. That's still a massive ask. Minton really does like to do his races the hard way. But once again, Minton up to 4th in front of Zamora. That's vitally important here. If he could get Zach behind as well, that will do no harm whatsoever to his championship points coming out of here. Andre Kuchar again. Just about. Oh, there we go. The Camel Straight once again plays host to another critical pass in these dying minutes of the race. As Lord Nem, I tell you what, that's trouble. That 666 car is doing absolutely brilliantly. I'll tell you what, we may see another pass along the Camel Straight here. There's no way that the Audi can keep the Aston behind in a straight line. Alongside, they come into the braking zone. Lord Nem on the outside is not where he wants to be, but he's going to stick it around the outside. Space is just about left by Rakesnick in the 2 car. And that is the attack quelled for a moment. The battle between Winkler and Kuchar still rages on. Where is that pass going to occur once again? These two fighting is bringing Hemming back into this fight as well. So Lexus, Nissan, Lexus, AMG is the next thing to join this fight. All within a second. Here we go. How good is that GTR on the brakes? Not as good as the Lexus, it seems. It looks like there might be a bit of damage. Oh, look at the exit, though. The exit for that 35 car, a big old jink to the left needed for the GTR, as the Lexus did not get the drive off the corner he was expecting. Stays defensive, does the 78. A mirror of what we saw between the 5 and I can't remember which car it was. But this is where the difference occurs. I don't
Incident between cars number 35 and 78 under investigation.
Yep, I can totally understand that. But Winkler, we will probably see a massive difference in the penalty given, if there is one given to Winkler here. Because yes, that was an accident, but he waited. That's a massive difference. So Zach falling away now. What can Minton do?
Car number 35 receives a drive-through penalty for causing a collision.
That's a shame.
Drive-through penalty for car number 35.
That's a shame. That's a big shame. I do like to see drivers waiting. It's a shame we don't see we aren't seeing that encouraged. But again, the penalty is the same for exactly the same incident. I can't argue. In the dying moments, he's going to have to serve it this lap. He can only serve it this lap. That's awful. And that must be so disappointing for Winkler, having driven so well throughout this entire race. And to have it all fall apart like that, that I think will promote... Oh, they'll drop him down to 20th at least. Heartbreak for... Heartbreak for the 35 car in these dying moments. And ISDA... shortcut for the 35. Just kind of gave up on braking for that. It's going to be a big enough penalty in these dying stages. So more now on the defensive. There's no need for him to defend against the 728 here. If he wants to let him pass, he can. But this has been again a revelation for the 65 of Moore. 23 seconds remain. Where is the leader on track? The 66 car. He is crossing the line now. Is he crossing the line now? No, 8 seconds. This will be the last lap. So, Langendijk, a popular, there we go. A popular win this will be for Remco Langendijk, who takes the final win of the championship and the 2-hour race at that. We will have to wait 21 seconds. There we go. 14 in the end for Kujawa to come across the line, and the 89 of Nidazak, a mere 2 seconds, will end up being 7 in the end. Do we get donuts? Langendijk just parks it in the middle of the track. I wonder what the emotions are. I'm going to jump into the comment booth. There we go. Ooh! I mean, that's one way to get a sideways moment going. Interesting. Right, hang on. Right. Moore will come across the line, will defend 6th position overall and take the win in the AM class in his first race for ISDA. Absolutely awesome. And Langendijk gets some donuts going on the track. Come on, get it off the track. Come on. 65 goes around the outside. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Donuts off the track, off the racing line. There we go. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that very much. And the 75, Minton's always a great person to have. Let's disconnect from there and come on. Let me go. Let me go. As a mess of cars collect on the outside of La Source. Here we go. Fireworks go off in the distance. The cars will... Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And the finishing order, as you can see there... There we go. Langendijk will finish in first, Kujawa second, Zak third, Minton fourth, Zamora fifth, Moore in sixth and leading the AM class across the line. Voodoo in seventh, Dakuza in eighth, ninth Borovec, Krisnik 10th, 11th will be Hemming, Kushar 12th, Concoli in 13th, 14th will be Smith, Rekesnik in 15th, Lord Nem will be... No, oh good grief. Lord Nem will come home in a commendable 13th, 14th. I pressed the same button again. 14th will be Lord Nem, Brooker 15th, 16th will be Dunster, Charles, lowly timetables. race. There we go. We got it in the end. Krisnik, Hemming, Kuchar will finish 12th, 13th, Concoli 14th will be Smith, Rekesnik 15th, Lord Nem 16th. Brilliant result for Lord Nem. Ollie Charles in 17th, also Winkler 18th, 19th will be Eugene Brooker in 20th, Dunster 21st, 22nd will be Meyer, Smolik in 23rd, Beswick in 24th, 25th will be Kirkner, Mixic in 26th, 27th will be Harvard, Kawasaki 28th, 29th will be Barrick, Maru in 30th, 31st will be Carey, Tadic will be 32nd, and 33rd will be Jokic. And first of all, I have to drag Mr. Moore. This is a very different circumstance to be talking you in. Please don't swear. How was your first ISDA race, mate?
I love this game.
Do you like this game?
2 weeks ago, I know I was slating it.
Yes.
Now that I've actually driven it,
yes,
this game's amazing.
Yeah. So the Carlami 9 hours, you and Dave are going to do some races then. Okay, maybe not then. But first time out, you were put in the AM class. Agree with that decision?
Yes, considering I've played this game since last week.
Yes, but bearing in mind your other experiences.
True. And it was also my first ever wet race ever in any game.
And how was ACC in the wet then?
It's still the same sort of. You take the same lines, there's just less grip,
mm-hmm.
but it kind of feels like every lap is a little bit different.
Which, in fairness, is how rain is, isn't it? When you're taking on races in real life, you can't predict the grip that you're going to have on any one corner.
Yeah, so you sort of drive based on the feeling in the last corner. Like if you oversteered a little bit, you know to take it a little bit careful in the next one.
Yeah.
Until you sort of build up your pace.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll catch you in the HSR Discord, but congratulations. One race, one win. One win. Come on, I can do words. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you take part in the next championship now.
Oh dear.
You show off. Hopefully you like the Porsches as much. Good luck, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah. See you later.
See, I don't have to talk so much with Alex because I'm going to be talking to him in about 2 minutes anyway. Mr. Zach, 3rd position. What a race it was for you. Talk us through it. How's it going?
Yeah, it was tough, man.
Yeah,
it was not easy to find the right strategy for the race. But all went okay for me, as I say. I must say the conditions were good. What I expected is the rain, because I was practicing the rain,
mm-hmm.
and in the last minute with Otto we decided to do a hybrid setup. I mean, who can work for dry and wet, just for in case. And it was the case, man. It was wet, dry for the start of the race, and wet in the middle, and then dry. So it was a hybrid for me. That's why I finished P3 for me, because it works for me, the pit strategy.
Yeah, of course. And you're, I'm kind of sorry in a way. Your 5-second penalty was ever so slightly my fault, because I was the one that reported you. Talk us through the Kemmel Straight. Did you feel at the time that perhaps you were a little bit over the line on your defense there, or did you feel?
I asked him for Jankes for why I have this 5 seconds. He said wave in, but I'm quite disappointed about this, because I don't know where I'm waved. Do you have a explanation? You see the rip?
It was when you were defending against the 17 Aston. You made, as far as I could see, well, there were two main points. It was one, you moved about 3 times across the track, and then it was you almost pushed the 17 off the track. And again, it was only minor. It was touch and go. I put it forward as a like it's kind of okay. It was borderline. But when we're fighting over what ended up being second position in the race, these kinds of things matter. So no, as I say, I have faith that when you watch it back, you'll probably see what we saw. And I've been in your position, believe me. And I've had stewards' decisions go against me, and I still disagree with them. But that's stewards. That's their job, unfortunately. But nonetheless, third position. It'll do your championship hopes no harm whatsoever. You were in front of everybody that was around you, or could possibly threaten you in the championship. So you're pretty secure in that.
Yeah. To be honest, about the push, it was door by door, as I remember, and it was not the push. If you see, man, it was sliding. It was not a purpose push.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that incident. No, that was a racing incident. I totally agree with you on that one. That one was right. No, if you watch the replay back, you'll see which one I mean. You have
an idea about the timer of the lap, just to check.
I don't remember which lap it was. But it was on the Kemmel straight that we were looking at.
After the Le Rouge, after the Radion, yeah.
After Radion, yeah. And it was about halfway down that it was a jink to the right, jink to the right, jink to the right, almost pushed the 17 off the track. Because at that point he was almost like his bumper was like to your corner, and you didn't leave the space. And you had the right. As I say, it was touch and go. It was really touch and go.
Anyway, if the stewards watch it and they see that it has my fault,
exactly.
It was my fault. I must just respect that. But anyway, he overtook me in the race.
Yes.
Even with that 5 seconds, he were faster and he did a clean overtake in the turn 1.
Yeah.
So
what was it like? Sorry, dwell on that for a second. What was it like having that maneuver pulled on you? Because we see it in Formula 1 all the time, where the switchback works and things like that, but we don't see that so much in GT3 racing.
Yeah, he did a switchback. Yeah, it was very clean. I was impressed and very respectful what he did. Because I was defending in the inside before the turn 1, the little hairpin, before the Le Rouge. I was not expecting him at all to jump in the inside. Mm-hmm. This maneuver was, if I remember, in the Formula 1, it's between Vettel and Bottas.
That's it.
In Barcelona, he were like, okay, I am in outside, and in the very last moment, he jumped in the inside. Mm-hmm. It's totally legal. Because I was not defending enough in the right, so it was space for one other car in the right. So he jumped in and he overtook me. So yeah, big respect for him. And this maneuver, as you said, we watched this a lot of Formula 1 because the cars are very light to do it. But in GT3, it's when you do it, you feel like what the hell. It's a nice maneuver. So yeah, he were faster. Even without this 5 seconds, I would be P3, and I'm so happy with this.
Yeah, 100%. No, so you should be.
For the championship, I think I hold the Minton and the Diego Zamora behind me.
Yes.
So I hold my P3.
Yes, you will hold your P3 for sure. I guarantee that one. No, congratulations on P3 in the championship then.
Yeah, thank you anyway for your commentating and your... for this season. I hope you see you again next season, man.
Yeah, likewise. It'd be great to be here. Yeah, you have a lovely evening, mate. You relish in your third place in the championship. It's been hard fought, really has been for you, because it's not been the easiest run through this championship.
Yeah, it was tough for me, especially last two races. I had some problems with my VI, disconnected in the middle of the race. And like Karayanami, disconnected in the middle of the track. Is older. I have some problems with my settings, and I lost like a lot of points in last two races. The last race, this one Spa, was my only hope to hold my P3. So that's why I'm well, I did a lot of practice on it on the setup.
This one,
Anyway.
this one meant a lot. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Good man. Good man. You have a lovely evening. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi.
Thank you. Yeah. Goodbye.
And the only other driver who wants to come and talk to me tonight, it seems, is Andre Couchard in that 78 Lexus. You were right in the thick of it all evening tonight, weren't you?
Hello. Yes, I was. I got caught up in the middle of the fight on the M class. So I was trying to get away, but I couldn't. So I just let them go and tried to not to lose too much time in fighting with them.
Yeah, of course. And as far as the results concerned, you are happy with where you ended up? I can't remember where on earth you ended up now.
I think I ended up P10 in class.
Yep.
Yes. I'm really satisfied with the result because I'm terrified of Eau Rouge, but in the Lexus it was easy.
I was gonna say the Lexus is a bit of it's approaching the boatly end of the GT3 cars, isn't it? Really. So it's a nice, soft kind of proper. It's what you would actually call a GT car, as opposed to these silly McLarens and Audi R8s and other things that they're not really GT cars, are they? You can't put a suitcase in the boot and grand tour across Europe.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much space inside the Lexus.
Yeah,
but it has it doesn't have that big fuel tank.
Oh, really?
It is only 113 liters. So it was good because it would be enough for only one-stop strategy.
Yeah, without the rain.
Yes. I was planning to do only one stop, but then the rain kind of forced everyone's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to see who had the pit strategies prepared.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's what ended up catching out Minton in the 75 Aston. Like, he had a lot of pace in the early part of the race. We did the switch through wets, and he was just as quick. And then we got to the dry session at the end, and it kind of fell apart a bit for him there.
Oh, maybe the pressures were not
not quite right.
Yeah, not quite right.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite right for me too, but I managed. It wasn't that bad.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Lots and lots of congratulations going around the entire field, and again, massive congratulations to yourself. You've been a stalwart driver throughout this season, and wrangling that Lexus to positions that it really doesn't deserve.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah.
Racing in this league, considering it's ISDA's first official GT3 league.
Yes.
It was really well organized.
Yeah.
And I really enjoys the race director channel on Discord and so on. And I enjoy your commentary. I usually after the race I just play it and try to find myself in the stream.
There's a lot of you tonight. There's a lot of you tonight. Don't say it's not a bad thing. It's just, as you say, you were in the middle of it. You really were in the thick of it at the end. It's always that lower half of the top 10 that just goes absolutely berserk. Every race that I've commentated without fail, you look from 6th to 10th, and there's at least one enormous battle going on.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
There was a big group holding together.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the race, I was trying to stay with them, but then the rain happened and so on, and
absolutely
it fell apart a bit.
Absolutely. Now, Andre, it's a pleasure to speak to you as always, and I can only wish you the best of luck for any of your races you got coming up.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here and racing with ISDA.
Likewise. It's been a pleasure commentating. It really has been. You have fun. Congratulations on the results. And do you want to pick a faster car next time?
Yeah, I will probably pick something else.
Try the NSX this time.
Sure.
Yeah. Good luck, mate. Catch you in a bit.
Thank you. Yeah.
And with that, it only leaves me to say a very good evening to everybody. There we go. Around the world. It's been wonderful. It's been absolutely awesome. Here we go. Have that and ignore the little warning in the top right-hand corner. It's been absolutely wonderful to have. I'll tell you what. Hang on.
Big red bullseye on the back, and it's going to say punt here.
Hey guys. I'm still I'm still streaming.
Hey.
So let's very quickly from the stewards do a bit of a special post-race analysis, post-championship analysis. Then, starting from the top in the hierarchy, Mally.
Yeah, Arthur is gone, so it's
has he
only
disappeared?
me here.
Aww.
Yeah, he had to. How do you say it?
Okay.
Launch chip. Anyway, I think we're doing great work here, because throughout the season the amount of post-race incident reports has dropped, and also the amount of post-race amount of penalty appeals has also dropped throughout the season. So in fact, following the Bathurst race, which was like race 2 or race 3, we didn't have a single appeal.
Awesome.
And then for the past few races, only minor things get reported, maybe one incident or two, and it's mostly like door scratching. So it's very good. I mean, we were amazed that we didn't spot a single incident here in the opening 2 laps, and then in the next 5 or 10 laps, those were only minor contacts or spinouts. So it was pretty easy to handle. And we know that all of our drivers were put through a great challenge tonight, as Andre can witness here.
Oh, he was put through the grinder good and proper.
Yeah, I mean, dry to wet and then back to dry. I never saw that in ACC. I'm glad I saw it within ISDA. So yeah, I think everyone behaved pretty good. Shame about a few incidents, but we had to drop the hammer at some point.
Yeah. I noticed as well. I was kind of I noticed that in the chat, Yankee said that waiting doesn't affect the penalty. So it was good to see that the same incident that occurred twice at La Source, which in fairness is an easy mistake to make, was treated with the same weight.
Yeah, especially since it was the same car that was that got affected there.
Or was it?
But,
oh wow.
Yeah, it was Andre. So first time it was I think Ollie Charles against him, and then the second time it was Otto Winkler. Anyway, we have decided not to take waiting into consideration, because sometimes people they think they would get off without a penalty if they waited.
Yep.
That's first reason, and the second reason we do this is because sometimes people tend to drive dangerously slowly on parts of track where you're not supposed to drive.
Understood.
Like that, just because they're trying to wait for someone. So let's say if OJ was waiting, the car number 5, if he was waiting, he would probably even go up through Eau Rouge, driving very slowly, and then there is a risk of another incident occurring because of it.
Of course.
So yeah, we don't take into consideration. It's a personal thing between two drivers. So of course you are allowed to wait if you're not, but it's not a relieving factor.
Of course. And then running down through the rest of the crew, who wants to go first of the 4 you're in here? No one.
Well,
there you go.
I have nothing to add really. People started driving more carefully during the season and respecting each other more and more, and then that is just shown with the incidents and complaints to the incidents report. So congratulations for everybody's driving, and it was a pleasure to watch the race from a steward's perspective.
There we go. When your stewards are complimenting your driving, you know you're doing well. And the thing is, it's great that we are getting to the point now where we're able to critique weaving, moving more than once on a straight, and things like that as well. It says something for sim racing and this particular league and how seriously everyone takes it. When you can start to critique that kind of what is generally accepted as defensive driving in sim racing.
Yeah, well, especially if you look at FIA rulebook, there's a quite clean statement how to properly defend your racing line. What I think was 89 did was not really nice out of him. So yeah, that should be penalized for sure.
100%. 100%. I've just had Remco seems to have jumped into the awaiting interview room finally. Very quickly, anybody else got anything else to add?
Only that this season was a pleasure to steward, and hopefully we have such great racing going forward.
Can we put a petition forward to have Royalty do the announcements on at least one race next season?
I come with a very big hammer.
Yeah.
That's some real world experience right there.
All right, Harley Quinn. Alex, anything?
No, actually no. I'm sorry. I was like, I was paying attention to the chat. There's people replying to me, and
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, no. If you don't get anything to add, that's absolutely fine. I've got to go and speak to the winner of the race now, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a popular interview as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
I won't miss it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Remco our congratulations, because it was a very tricky race to master.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Thank you for your brilliant commentating.
You make it a lot easier. You really do. There.
Oh.
Best of luck, guys. Thank you very much for putting on an absolutely excellent show. And I'll see you next time. Probably like in a couple of days when we do some more rallying or something, but you know, whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next week is
next week's
Sweden,
gonna be good. It's gonna be so good. I'll catch you guys later.
See you later.
See you soon.
And finally, the leader of the race deigns to grace us with his presence. Remco Langendijk, welcome to the Combox for the first time. And can I get a quick 1-2? Oh no. Oh no. I did that wrong. Dum-de-dum. I didn't mean to leave you in here. I did accidentally call you. I was trying to adjust your volume.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. You're actually pretty much there.
Ah, cool. Nice.
Nice. Right. Talk us through the race. You, it was a twisty-turny, upside-downy roller coaster of a race, was it not?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was struggling the whole season, and finally I got a good result at last.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I tell you what, you've got a lot of support, especially from well, you've got a lot of support in like watching the stream as well, especially from Sasha.
Yeah, Sasha, my sister.
Ah, cool, awesome.
Yeah, a lot of my friends and family are watching. Also, last season with the Porsche season. So
all the times when I'm saying how you were driving terribly and you should just let Minton pass, blah blah blah, then you should. they all saw that. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
My nationalism showed on stream. No, talk us through that opening stint of the race. It seems like an eternity ago now. You were absolutely able to live with the pace of Minton with Dan.
And we pretty much had the same pace, I think.
Yeah, and then when you made the pass, you ended up having to cut Lacombe.
Yeah,
the second Lacombe. Did you feel as though talk us through your emotions on that pass?
Yeah, Dan and I know each other really well. We are almost racing always in the same team in endurance races. So I was like, Yeah, he's probably not gonna close the door on me if I go for it. But I was a little bit too late on the brake, so I went straight a bit. I thought I was ahead when I was ahead before I cut the corner a bit, but that was what the 5 seconds came from, I think.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, and after that, then I decided to go a lap longer when it started to rain, and I thought maybe that's a good move with fuel strategy.
Yep.
For later on, but then it started to dry up again, so that was out of the window.
Yeah.
But I started to catch Dan after that. I thought I heard he had damage, I think, so that's why.
Yeah, something like he's literally just said something about that in the chat. But yeah, he was carrying damage for the second half of the race.
Yeah, I was wondering why he was so slow. Usually he's pretty quick as well. So.
No, I think that was on when he went back to slicks.
Yeah, I think he crashed then. I'm not sure where, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got him in the pit stop, and then I managed to just drive away, I think.
And how about
Car
that?
Felt great.
Was that? I was going to say, was that second dry stint? If we could separate it up into the 3 sections. That second dry stint, that was a calm, peaceful cruise to the flag kind of affair, or were you constantly in your mirrors and worrying about traffic?
No, it was pretty calm. I noticed that when you're in P1, 2, or 3, the traffic is a bit more careful than when you're in like P10 or something and passing someone. So it was, especially the last 15 minutes or something, I was just trying to keep it on the track and not get a drive-through for going too wide too much. And yeah.
How close did you come to getting a game-administered drive-through?
I just got 1 warning, so.
Okay, so I think it's like I can't remember if it was 3, 5, or 7 that it gives you, but yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 warnings and then the 4th is drive-through.
That sounds right.
And it's spot and you're pretty much done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that was what ended up finishing off Ollie's race.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah, 100%. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man.
Hard-earned, hard-fought season for you.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary the whole season. It was really good. Enjoyed it.
It's easy. You guys make it easy. You really do. But no, you really did deserve this. I totally agree with what the guys were saying in chat. Like, this is going to be a popular win. You are very much loved among the ISDA community. So,
that's cool.
So yeah,
awesome.
Popular win. It's a win for you is a win for everyone. I think is the best way of thinking of it.
That's cool. Thanks.
To do it in such commanding and respectful fashion, really, really well done.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah. You have a lovely evening, mate.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
See ya. And now, it only leaves me to say, my name has been Ike Sky. You've been watching the International Sim Drivers Association Spring GT3 World Tour for 2021. This was the finale. Be prepared, because there is going to be plenty more coming in the next few months. Have a lovely evening, and as I say on my personal streams, be excellent to everyone. Until I see you all again, my name has been Ike Sky. Good night.